With me tonight, Aisha Hazarika and Tom Newton-Dunn. And I just want to bring everybody some breaking news and get your reaction to it as well, because the Conservative former Cabinet Minister, Lord Heseltine, has told the Press Association in the last few minutes, he says he's been sacked as a government advisor after rebelling in the House of Lords today over this Brexit vote. What's your reaction to that, hearing that?
Quite interesting. He is a Tory peer and a government advisor who broke a three-line whip and announced he was going to do this in the newspapers 10 days ago. We asked, fun enough, the Prime Minister's official spokesman this afternoon is, what are you going to do to Lord Heseltine? The answer came back, wait and see. So I think they knew they were going to do this. You can't really remain a government advisor if you've just broken a three-line whip on something that the Prime Minister cares hugely about and made that clear. So perhaps it was inevitable he was going to go. But the real significance of this is Theresa May sending a message to Tory MPs thinking about rebelling next week when the bill goes back into the Commons, and it's down to the Commons not to uphold the Lord's amendment on this veto on the Brexit negotiations. And she's saying to them, if you dare cross me, like Lord Heseltine did, you too will get defenestrated.
And it's interesting you called it a veto on the Brexit negotiations. Some of the Lords who voted in favour of this amendment would say we want a meaningful vote on this, and then we want that written into the Article 50
yes.
bill.
But that's actually, I mean, in her own words, Theresa May did say that, you know, she did actually use herself the word meaningful. But I think there's something fantastically kind of deja vu about, you've got Lord Heseltine, Tarzan, having a massive ding-dong with a female Prime Minister over Europe. Again, it is like very reminiscent of times gone by. He's front and
centre of the story, and it's quite frankly precisely where he'd like to be. And he doesn't do a huge amount of government advising anymore either these days. He's got an office in the Department of Business.
I mean, for all the flexing of muscle and for all the sort of shots across the bow of MPs, I think very few MPs would vote against Theresa May. When we had the triggering of the Article 50, I mean, only Ken Clarke rebelled.
Yeah.
And, you know, a sizable, you know, rump of Labour MPs. I think when it comes down to it, Labour MPs, I mean, all MPs are slightly nervous about going against the will of the people.
I don't want to rush you on, but we have got Mary Berry's Bolognese to come
on
to at some point.
This is very
and
true.
Before that...
Forget the politics.
Before that,
so
we're going to actually show the Sun's front page, because this is a story that's on lots of the front pages. And this is about the WikiLeaks revelations that they say are CIA documents showing the kind of how-to of spying using some of our everyday objects around the house, which is quite alarming if true.
It's absolutely true and fascinating. So we've known for a while that cyber spies, our people, their people, Israeli spies, Russians, the Chinese, have developed malware that infects mobile phones, that even when a mobile phone is turned off, you can activate it, activate the microphone in it, perhaps even the camera, and use it as a bug. So it really shouldn't be too much surprise, I suppose, to discover from this WikiLeaks leak that the intelligence agencies are doing precisely the same with smart TVs, which are very similar mobile phones. They've got the same microchips, microphones and cameras. So
extraordinary stuff, and embarrassing for the CIA, and interesting to see how Donald Trump will react to it as well, given the current state of relations between intelligence services and...
They'll be throwing a smart TV straight out the White House window first off, I would imagine.
It is terrifying, and it just makes you kind of, you know, we are all very nervous about our privacy and our data, and now it's sort of this comes along and you just think, gosh, there's sort of nowhere to hide, really.
The only problem is, of course, is that, and this is the great argument about Snowden and interception and, you know, what should the government's rights be on all these things. And if you're not doing anything wrong, you're not going to be stared at through your own smart TV by our spies. That's the argument they make. And of course, now that everyone out there who is doing wrong knows that they may be bugged by their own smart TVs, they will also be throwing their smart TVs out the window like Donald Trump is being. So actually, it sets back the intelligence communities from yet another way of trying to find out what the bad guys are doing and makes their job just a little bit harder.
And no official reaction to that story yet from the States, so we wait to see what does come out. We have 30 seconds to turn to the page 3 of the Express, and the headline there, panned Mary's white wine bolognese.
Well, people want to take back control.
With me tonight, Aisha Hazarika and Tom Newton-Dunn, and I just want to bring everybody some breaking news and get your reaction to it as well, because the Conservative former Cabinet Minister, Lord Heseltine, has told the Press Association in the last few minutes, he says he's been sacked as a government advisor after rebelling in the House of Lords today over this Brexit vote. What's your reaction to that, hearing that?
Quite interesting. He is a Tory peer and a government